We will create the following 3D model using SolidWorks. Basically, what we have right here is this shape extruded along this direction. Of course, we have to take into account that there is an angle generated right here, but that information we will see it along the construction of the 3D model. And basically, what we have right here is a rectangular shape extruded along this direction as well. So a pocket. It is not an extrusion. My apologies. Now, as always, we need two things. The first one, the unit system that the engineering draw is using, because we are going to take into account an engineering draw information. So we have to know if it's working in millimeters, inches, I don't know, feet, whatever. In this case, and this is something that I'm going to discuss at the end of the video regarding some things about the engineering drawing topic, we don't find that information. So we are going to assume that these are millimeters. We're going to work in millimeters. Second thing that we need, the information within the views, the dimensions. Basically, we have to start with the view that contains the most information possible. In this case, we have 1, 2, and 3 views. Of course, we are going to start using this one, the one that contains the most information possible, most of the dimensions that we are going to use. All right, so while I open, following the same process that we always do, I'd like to say that at the end of the video, I'm going to talk some things regarding the engineering drawing topic, as I mentioned before, because I think it's important for us to understand that better. But it is going to be at the end of the video, so no worries. Now, once we have the part or the part environment on SolidWorks, we're going to click on Sketch and Sketch once again. I want to select the right plane. Why is that? Because the right plane is a lateral view regarding the piece that we're going to create. So I've clicked Sketch once again, and now the right plane. Now I'm going to disable the rotation of the space mouse. It's not this one, but this one, rotation off. Okay, and basically all I have to do is to create a shape that looks like the one we have in the first view. I don't really care about the dimensions, I just care about the proportions. All right, it is important for us to create a proportional sketch. So right here we have something like this. This has to be horizontal right here. Right here. Right here and right here. All right. Why I do not care about the proportions, the dimensions yet, but I only care about the proportions, because for when we start the process of creating the dimensions, SolidWorks creates a proportional way of me for he to understand it. I don't know if I made myself understand. For example, this line at this moment is 78.86 millimeters. If I click on it, it is going to allow me to change the dimension. And for example, I'm going to change it to, okay, not yet. Control C once again. And now this dimension is, for example, 80. All right, remember that the previous one was 78 something millimeters. If I change this to the value that we need, which is, as you can see right here, 29. So we are going to start by 29, 28, 40, 49. I want to use the same dimensions that you can see right here. I'm going to change it to 29. So 29, and the SolidWorks is going to generate an automatic proportion. So this line is not longer 78 something millimeters, but in this case, as you can see, is 28. That is why I didn't care about the dimensions yet. 20. We continue changing the values. From here till here, I have a dimension of 8. Enter. From here till here, we have 40. My SolidWorks always is like a book or something like that. It's pretty slow when I'm recording the screen. Please bear with me, guys. 49. Let me see this one. Okay, this is a total dimension, so in this case I'm going to have right here so 62. $23. $19. And finally, I think $14. All right. How do we know that this sketch has been properly defined? Basically, because of the color. If you have a sketch that still has lines in blue, that means that it is not perfectly defined. There are some lines that could be moved, and that is a mistake. Every single one of the lines has to be black for you to continue with the process. Now, all I have to do now is click on Features, Extruded Boss Base. And as you can see right here, we're going to start creating the extrusion. Basically, we have 30 millimeters right here. And that is all the information, because for the pocket that we will do next, we have a rectangle of 10 by 19 millimeters. So 30 millimeters. Enter. Enter once again. I'm going to enable the rotation. And now, as you can see right here, this sketch has been created with a 90 degrees view, a perpendicular view. That means that if I look the part like this, I'm going to see this. All right, which means that I need a flat plane for me to construct this this pocket. I cannot use this one because if I create the pocket right here, the pocket is going to be generated like this, and I need it to be generated like this. Right, so I can create a plane right here, or I can select this plane or this face. Sorry, can select this face or this face, but it is easier for me to select this one. right? So that is what we're going to do. Sketch once again, and I'm going to select, in this case, this face. Control 8 for me to have a perpendicular view, and I'm going to disable the rotation once again. Now all we have to do is to create a construction line, center line. I'm going to look for the middle of this line highlighted in orange, which is this square, and I'm going to click on the opposite side. Basically all I have to do is to create a center rectangle, starting with the center line that we just created and clicking on the edge. That is pretty much it. We will define the dimensions. So as I mentioned before, this is 19, enter, and this is 10. All right, features, in this case I'm not going to select extruded, but extruded cut right here. Rotation none for me to see, and the pocket has not been created until the end of the part, so I'm going to change that right here through all, and it automatically generates the pocket until the last face is found, which is this, right? It looks good to me, so okay. And this is pretty much it, guys. Basically, this is how you can create this 3D model using SolidWorks. Now, regarding the engineering drawing topic. Well, when you want to create an engineering drawing, you have to do it foolproof. That means that anybody is capable with some different knowledge is capable of reading the engineering draw, and he or she knows what to do, or she or he knows perfectly the engineering draw. I'm saying this because there is a lot of different normativities that you have to take into consideration for when you want to create an engineering draw. Here in Colombia, we have the NTC, which is the, I don't really remember the nomenclature, but it is some normativities that we the engineers have to take into consideration for us to create basically anything. Regarding that, you have to use a box. It is usually right here, in which you place your name, the person, if it's necessary, the person who is checking your work, which could be your boss, whatever, the material of the part, if it's been manufactured, some tolerances information, if it's been, I don't know, processed through a CNC machine, so the technician has to verify the tolerances and verify that it is compliant, it is meeting the requirements of the part. What else? I don't know. Right here you place all the information needed. The unit system, what we needed at the beginning of the video, the unit system, if it's working in inches, millimeters, feet, whatever. And this is a nomenclature for the views. Please Google it. You can use either this nomenclature or this nomenclature. You can say that you're using ISO A or ISO E. Actually, I think that it is the other way around, but no worries. You have to Google it. That is the information that you are going to find for you to analyze the views. That is going to tell you, okay, this is the front view. Or no, it's this one. That is important for us to analyze first as well. You cannot use both, as you can see right here. This engineering draw was made by Luis Miguel Huérfano Garzón. I know that he did it with educational purposes. I really hope that he made these errors because it is not that important in an educational process, or actually I think that he believed that. But what I believe is that if you're teaching something, you have to use the proper nomenclature and the proper normativity for you to not confuse the students in the future. Now, he always says, this is Spanish for exercise 6. He always plays the material right here, so I know that he meant that he doesn't really care about the material of the part. But usually he plays right here, I know, for example, aluminum, copper, steel, gold, whatever. This is the page of the engineering draw, 6 out of 12. So that information as well goes within the box that I mentioned before. Now, regarding the views, as you can see, I didn't need this view for me to create a 3D model, and because of that, it is a mistake by just placing it right here. Please do not place any view if you're not going to use it, if it's not necessary. That is a mistake. Now, he could have eliminated this, and the next thing that I want to mention is the proportions. As you can see, we have plenty of space right here, if we didn't have this view, for us to place the isometric view, because as you can see, it is right at the corner, like I don't know, it is not well proportioned, the engineering draw. For example, if you're going to use more parts, you could have moved these two views right here, divide the engineering draw on a half, and place this next engineering draw, which is the part that we will do in the next video. As you can see, he didn't use this view either, so he could have placed this information right here. And if you work in a company that prints the engineering draws, you're going to save a lot of paper. It is pretty beneficial for every single one of the parts. Of course, within that box that I mentioned before, you have to place the information of all the parts that are within the engineering draw. That is what I wanted to mention about it. I think that it is actually pretty important for us to analyze that. And that is pretty much it, guys. Once again, this is how you can create this 3D model using SolidWorks.